Howdy friends, my name is Konstantin. I am the host of Inside Russia YouTube channel. For the last 3 years I have conducted live streams and videos daily where I try my best to explain what has been done to Ukraine by my country. I am Russian, born and raised in Russia. I am an intelligent, well-educated, well-traveled, and very experienced 48-year-old man. A Christian who is full of pain, guilt, and remorse for what Russians are doing to Ukrainians. Listen to me very carefully now. The following is exactly what has happened in Ukraine. Do not ever forget that. Vladimir Putin made the decision to start Russian-Ukrainian war. He ordered Russian troops to invade Ukraine and kill resisting Ukrainians. Vladimir Putin is the aggressor. Russia is the aggressor country. Ukraine is the victim of the aggression. Russia started the war. Vladimir Putin bears personal responsibility.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции. Ее цель – защита людей, которые на протяжении 8 лет подвергаются издевательствам, геноциду со стороны киевского режима. И для этого мы будем стремиться к демилитаризации и денацификации Украины.
And all Russian citizens, myself included, are also responsible. Russia is the country which started the war to gain control over Ukraine. Russia is the country responsible for killing and wounding hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians, stealing Ukrainian land and resources, and razing Ukrainian cities. On top of these things, Russia, Vladimir Putin, many high-level authorities and the propaganda have publicly stated that Russia is not at the war with Ukraine, but instead is at the war with the collective West, led by the USA, the UK, and Germany. Vladimir Putin, many high-level authorities, and propaganda have publicly threatened to burn the West and the world along with it in the nuclear fire, even if it means committing suicide. Vladimir Zelensky is a democratically elected president of Ukraine who has done a heroic job defending his country. Regular Ukrainians have shown heroic acts of courage defending their country. These things are unarguable, and this is my personal resolution. I have adopted it. This is what I have stood upon all 3 years. For 3 years, the world supported Ukraine. The support was led by the United States of America. But recently things have changed. America has changed its position supporting Ukraine. Instead of providing aid to Ukraine, it demands things like rare earth in return. Many things have been said recently about the war. As it turns out, all of a sudden, it is not Russia who invaded, but it is Ukraine's fault. It is Zelensky who is the dictator, not Putin. Now the USA is shaking hands with Lavrov in El Riyadh, the very same Lavrov who has been the very driving force behind the war. There is even a talk of lifting economic sanctions of Russia. Russian propaganda, Vladimir Putin and his servants have been celebrating victory. Everything Putin was promising for the last 3 years to Russians and his servants, how Russia would come out victorious, once unthinkable, now is much closer to becoming a reality. For 2 weeks, I have not commented much, because from what I have learned in life, well, talk is cheap. Now, very unfortunately, the USA has started walking the walk and backing its words and threats with actions. On February 24th, 2025, the UN General Assembly adopted a resolution condemning the full-scale invasion of Russian troops in Ukraine. The document, entitled Promoting a Comprehensive, Just and Lasting Peace in Ukraine, was prepared by the EU countries and Ukraine. 93 countries voted yes to adopt the resolution, and 18 countries voted no. Among those countries voted no were Russia, Belarus, and the United States of America. The representatives of the United States opposed the adoption of the resolution. They prepared a competing resolution in which they called the war simply a conflict. They equated Ukraine's actions with Russia's actions. As a result, the UN members adopted both resolutions by a majority vote, but the American one was amended, in particular by replacing the word conflict with full-scale invasion. That is a solid action by America. It is walking the walk. Let me remind you, folks, it is the very same USA that was leading the efforts of the world to adopt the UN resolution to condemn Russian invasion in March, on March 2nd, 2022, 3 years ago. 141 countries voted yes then. Well, America has spoken differently now, 3 years later, a very unexpected, unthinkable move. Without world support, Ukraine will fall. In the long run, it will be overrun by Russia due to Russia's sheer size. A puppet government will be installed, and Putin will reach his primary goal. He will gain absolute control over Ukraine. And Russia's next step, most obviously, will be getting rid of me and people like me who openly stand up against oppression and speak their hearts. Nevertheless, I hereby inform you and the whole world that I continue to support Ukraine in the fight against Russian aggression, no matter what others say and do. Other countries and their people might turn away from Ukraine and even sell Ukraine out to Russia for a price. But I keep standing my ground. As a Russian citizen, I want peace for Ukraine on fair terms. I want security guarantee for Ukraine, so no one will attack the country torn to shreds by Russia again. I want my fellow Russians to wake up, realize what's been done to Ukraine with their silent approval, and repent. I want Russia to become peaceful at last. Why do I stand with Ukraine? Because I know the truth. Because I remember who is the aggressor and who is the victim. Because what Russia is doing to Ukraine is horrible. It is not right. The war started in front of my eyes, and I remember everything. Others turncoating, no matter who they are, does not and will not affect my stand. You have my word on that. It feels scary because I might go down with Ukraine. I realize that. It feels very lonely. I feel betrayed, like many Ukrainians do now, probably. It feels like the world is spinning around me. I simply lose understanding of what the hell is going on. Yet, I firmly stand by my values: God, family, hard work, and freedom. And I stand my ground by supporting Ukraine. I feel it is very important to share it with you to understand who I am in this changing, unstable world. At the end of this video, I am asking you this question, especially regular American people. Do you still stand with Ukraine? Do you still stand with me? The comment section would be a very good place to share your stand. Thank you very much for answering. Carthago delenda est.